welcome to the Sheet Show, the series that I am creating. This is the very first one. I have a special guest here. Today's guest is Michael O. Sedona. Welcome to Sedona. We're right here in Sedona shooting this episode. And Michael's known for Truth on TV. He has a show he does. He's known for a truther. Great prime guest for my first show, the Sheet Show, to talk about real sheep we got going on, And also he's known for Sedona News, like Sedona, Sedona News. It's a show he does. And also, I'm just so amazed by his creating capabilities. He's perfect subject here with me today to talk about how we are creators. Today's topic is manifestations, creating. How do we create? I refer to it as, I have a book called The 2-Foot Drop, Our Journey Inside. And in that book, I talk about the meaning of that book is that we have a light inside of us. We all have it inside of us. God said, I made you in my like image. And there's really no other statements that should be after that, but there are, as we know. But just that in itself is truth, is that we all have that light inside of us. I refer to it as the greatest, brightest light in the center of it all, which is right inside of us. And if we could just tune into that. So that's what we're talking about. We're talking about believing, achieving, these kind of things. How do we attract into our lives what we want, our desires, and just the basic beginning of it all, keeping it simple here as we talk about, and Michael, he'll share with us some of his personal testimonies of his belief in what he has created or uncreated in his life. That's a good one. Uncreating as well, because we create all the sheet, good, bad, and the ugly. And so when we can step into owning that we are that powerful with God, our God selves, that we have that light inside of us. The good news is that we can uncreate what we don't like. And the bad news is, just for a moment, is that whatever, we created it all, whatever it may have been. So also another topic, it's an honor to be able to sit with Michael, and he could share with us how he defeated cancer, over the last year or so.
It took about a year, but in 7 months it was miraculous.
Yeah, it's just beautiful. And I'm gonna I'm introducing him. I'm going to give him a chance to share some things. That's why we're both here today. The layers of belief. For me, belief, it starts with a mustard seed, to believe in something, whatever they say. But then believing, I've had the license plate several times in my life, believing. It's all about believing. Then we get to further, which is knowing. Believing to knowing. And we're going to talk about emotion. That's a funny word, but it's my belief what I've learned is the E in emotion stands for energy. Energy in motion. And so a lot of this, all of it, I would say, is our feelings, our vibration, our emotional state of being, and what creates what we have in our life. And there's a direct correlation to it, to our guts and to our mind. Sometimes this is the sheet cavity. It gets in the way, and we get a chance, we'll have a chance, and working on this is to pay attention to our thoughts, because it is amazing. It's said that maybe 1,000 or more thoughts of negativity and low self-worth, and it goes through our heads a day that we're not even aware of. It's amazing. And so the beginning, I think, is paying attention to our thoughts. What goes through our sheet cavity? What goes through our head? We're products, I say, and further episodes, relationships, all kinds of stuff to talk about, is that we're products of our environment, okay? I liked it once said that we choose our life partners to heal our parents or our childhood, and so it's all correlated, you know. But when we could realize, like I will say this, is we're the only animal on Earth that could actually have a navigator above our brain. So we could actually rise above what we're, you know, and we could actually choose a different direction. You know, most things, animals, things like that, it's learned behavior, things like that, and you don't know how to get out of it. There's some animals, maybe dolphins. Those guys are cool. They're well, we're going. That's another rabbit hole. But dolphins, you know, they just it's a gut feeling. You know, it's said that they're intuitive, and they can actually telepathy talk through telepathy. But anyway, just you know, I got great testimony. I mean, I grew up in 8 foster homes. It was a sheet show growing up, and but as we talk more on these series, I'm going to talk about Soul Goal, which is the trilogy of my book writing, and I'm now writing my second book, which is called Inside Out: Creating the Beautiful Mirror. So Soul Goal series, and getting into that, we'll be talking about how, you know, we choose everything. Even I believe I chose my childhood. I believe today that I chose my parents. So I mean that's, you know, it's pretty good testimony of not victim or, you know, the victim blame bench that we could sit on. So it's just getting out of that, realizing that we are the creators, and talking about some cool sheet on Sheetology 101. And Michael Sedona, how you doing?
Hey, bud.
Hey, man.
Thanks for inviting me to your pilot episode.
Absolutely.
Of the Sheet Show.
Yes.
Starting here, of course, at the 101 level, because sheet is deep.
Yes.
And we got to start in the shallow end.
Yes.
And so that's where we are today.
Yeah.
With Sheetology 101. I think I'm already feeling people who are watching this are really biting on the curing cancer. How in the world can you cure cancer when the whole world tells you that you have to have massive doses of radiation and chemotherapy,
right,
which 100% of the time kills people? So how well, the only way truth would tell us it can be done is a different way. It's a different way than what they told us.
Yes.
So then, how many different experiments do we have to try before we realize that the powers that be are continuing to make money off of the research, cancer research, when the cure may already be here and they're just not letting us know?
Could be.
Right?
Yes, I hear you. I want to go into that first time when you found out and how it was. And you were talking to me about people were like owning it, like you're going to die. And
it was July of 2022, and I had a lower back ache and pain, as if my back were kind of thrown out, but not completely, for about probably 6 weeks. I was taking ibuprofen, couple of ibuprofen, that turned into more, and that turned into more. Well, finally, one morning, I woke up in more pain than I've ever experienced very early in the morning, as someone may recall, with pain that was unsustainable. It was like having a baby. And what I found out it was my prostate had exploded and was already eating bones.
Wow.
And a third of my L1 was eaten, a third of my sacrum was eaten. I had cancer on every rib. And I had to get a pain pill, like a real ass pain pill, right, to get through that. And that allowed me to think for just a moment that this was not just a backache or my back got pulled. There's something seriously, seriously wrong. So the next day I went to the ER and they did a scan on me, and they saw like what it was. And the person who was interfacing with me, I don't know their title, the person who was interfacing with me said, you need to get your affairs in order. And that's a phrase that you hear, it sends chills through you, no matter who you are. And I'm proud of the fact that I have no fear.
Right.
But I got to tell you, I had my 2 days of doubt and pain,
Sure.
as Rolling Stones so aptly quoted
Yes.
of Christ on the cross. I had my 2 days of doubt and pain, and I bought it for just that amount of time. And I've got a lifetime of experience of manifesting my own reality.
Yes.
I heal other people remotely.
Yes.
I heal animals by just working on them and going into their
Right.
brains and then turning on their own
Right.
stem cell creators.
And I want to add that the reason how you do that is you know that you can.
Right.
And like I believe that we're all healers and we all have this ability to heal. You know, you talk about Reiki and hands and feeling, stuff
Absolutely.
like that.
All those are
and I think it's all a matter of us believing that we do have that capability.
First.
Yeah.
At first.
Right.
At first. You have to have the belief that you can do it. Because nobody makes it the first time.
Sure.
Matrix. Oh. Nobody picks up the guitar and the first thing they play is Eruption from Van Halen. Right. It's like it doesn't work that way.
Yeah, right.
I used to sit in with bands playing that way.
Van Halen.
Right.
Eddie.
So
which cast?
Right. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Long time ago.
Yeah.
But the point is that we have to start in the shallow end, and so you have to have a belief before you can have a knowing. But the goal is to get out of the belief and go into the knowing, so that you're more consistent with your manifestation. Believing is how you get your toes wet, and knowing is jumping into the deep end with no fear whatsoever that you're going to fail.
Yes.
And that's although sometimes I do not get that prime parking place that's right next to the ramp that leads into the grocery store.
Sure.
I get the one next to it. You know what I mean? It's like that's the level of knowing that I'm at when I go down 89A before I ever turn off into the parking lot of the grocery store. I know where my parking place is. I see it. I make the other people leave because I'm coming in. And I pull right up there without any hesitation because I know.
It's real.
And that's how we need to live our lives, because if we don't know, if we don't act and know, then that means that you're taking into your path other people's ripples of what they know. And that might not be in your best interest.
Well said.
Right?
Yeah.
So by us putting on our own thrust and throttle and handing control of the rudder, we are the ones who are in control. And the way that we can do it is because we know that we can.
Correct. Yeah, it's quite a process, you know. It starts, like you said, you know, at the very beginning, a little belief. I say that if we could see it, dream it, see it, you know, dreams. So dreams are real. We could create that into our reality. But if we could see it, and then we could feel it, there's such a drop.
And that's the message that the Christ taught Thomas in the book of Thomas, which was removed because it didn't make any money for Constantine, so he didn't need it in there. That book of Thomas was very revealing on because Thomas looked at the Christ and saw him turn water into wine.
Yeah.
Okay, without a cloak, nothing up his sleeve, turned water into wine, and the good stuff, by the way. And Thomas, doubting Thomas, right? Thomas is going, where's the hidden one, right? Doubt is fear.
Yeah.
And so the Christ said, look, manifestation is a two-step process. And this is in the book of Thomas. Look it up, find it. Don't take my word for it. So it's a two-step process. The first step is you have to see in what I call with nth detail. In other words, the ultimate detail, that final frame, not all the way working up to it and how you might fail and all those, just the final frame that has the success all in it.
Right.
Whatever it is that your task is, see that final frame, and then feel, boom, just like that. See it, feel it, the joy, the love, the little kid excitement of seeing that, achieving that, and having that. Boom,
all
there
the
it
emotions.
is. And that is how you make your own reality.
Yeah,
and I don't say that just because I read the book of Thomas.
Right.
I say that because that's how I live my life.
That's how you lived it as a testimony, and me as well. And that's why we're here today, is to talk about this is real. I mean, taking it from our lives, whatever our childhood was, whatever it was.
How else can we tell you?
Joe's. But yes, this is a true thing that we could learn how to do. And I say if you could see it and then you could feel it, then believe it, which we're talking about, know it, then you could believe it, then you could achieve it.
Yeah.
So that's my simple line of the law of attraction. Creating your life and creating what you want. Beautiful. Yeah, that's emotion is so important. It's amazing how our head, we could see something and believe it and want it with all our might. And there's a good topic too. Wanting as opposed to knowing. The universe is amazing. It's really like
Specific.
God is like, oh, there you go. Okay, there you go. You want? There you go.
And you can continue to want.
And you can stay and want.
Yes.
Gosh,
Dang.
I want.
I want.
And the emotion
adverbs.
is, I don't have.
It doesn't understand adverbs.
Yeah.
If you say not, I do not, it does not hear adverbs. It hears I want.
Right.
I do not want rain. Here's I want rain. And so then you're going to be desiring rain. And it wouldn't be surprising if Virgo was happening all around, but you never really got the raindrops because you didn't say, I have rain.
Right.
Right?
The knowingness,
Yeah.
as opposed to wanting. It's real tricky, and it's great to be able to have dialogue, to talk about the simplicity of this and how anybody like me, us, can learn how to do this. And, so pay attention to want as opposed to knowing, as opposed to the emotion of believing as if it is.
Having.
Having that, that's
I
really
have.
powerful. Yeah.
I have love. I have a functioning car so I can get myself where I want to go. I have.
I am.
Yeah.
I have.
Yeah.
I am.
Yeah.
The two
Well,
most
I am,
powerful
of course.
words ever. I am, like Popeye, right? I am what I am. Yes. So this has been 2 years now. You were diagnosed with stage 4 cancer.
3 years.
3 years now. Sorry.
3 years, yeah.
22,
We're-
23. Let me do math. I was never good at history.
July.
Yes,
Even recent
3
history.
years.
Yes. So 3. Well, I only correct you because, damn, dude, 3 years now, right?
Wow.
And I'm still. Not only am I going, I'm getting younger, and I don't say that with any exaggeration. You can see my Sedonu shows from then to now, and you can see that I'm getting younger on camera.
You look great.
So it's just one of those things, and I'm going to be 67 next month. So
Wow.
it's not that we are limited in any way, and we don't have to believe what experts say. What do you see in your mind, and what do you feel as the emotional component with it? Now, going back to everybody else who was calling me and giving me condolences as if I'd already passed away, it's like they thought that they were doing the right thing. They thought that by
Correct.
calling me and going, gee, I'm so sorry you have, and I said, you mean had? Even
Right.
though at that moment when they called, I still had a 400 and some PSA, which if you're in understanding, and if you're over 30 years old and a male, you better have had a PSA test. It's supposed to be somewhere around 2 or 3. Under 7. 7 is an indicator of cancer. And when I first tested me, mine was 706.
Wow.
So my wife calls me an overachiever. Anyways, the point is that in after 2 days of doubt and pain, my realization and remembrance of who I am, and what I can do came back to me. And with just a little bit of medical help to clean up a mess using a brand new technology called photonic therapy, I was able to get off the pain pills, and I was taking 60 milligrams of oxycodone a day.
Wow.
60 milligrams a day, and still full. That was just blocking the pain, because
Wow.
I don't like the feeling of being off-centered.
Yes.
And so although it was slightly affecting my speech and things, outwardly there was really no way of knowing that I was on that much drug. That's how much pain that I had to kill. And I got off of that like 3 months. I was done ramping myself down and got off of those because those are nasty. And had been able to take over my own physical repair. Now, this might seem a little foreign to what we've been taught, and it's certainly what you've been taught in school. But we have the power to regenerate tissue if we just understand how it's mathematically coalesced. And so how cells function, how cells hold on to each other, all of this is done with energy, frequency, and mathematics.
This is some deep sheet.
No. This so if we, and I'm not going to go into the math of it, but I'm just saying, if you have
It's true.
that knowledge, then you can defeat stage 4 cancer in 7 months. I know this because I did it. Now, how do you apply that to you? First, get outside of the little phone worrying about how many clicks you got on something you posted on social media. Please spend the time with God. With Creator. By the way, I had an amazing epiphany the other day. I was face to face with ET, and so I've got all this stuff that's in my head that rolls out when it's needed. And so I was discussing with Carla God, right? And I said, now I understand the name. They say Yahweh, YHWH. It's not Yahweh. That is a phonetic presentation of the sound of this. The breath of life is the name of the Creator. Yes. And if you just take notice, take time to go outside, breathe, sit in the grass, ground yourself, realize that you're not contained in your body, there's a lot more. Then the math, you don't have to study in books.
Right.
It will come to you. And so then you can not only help yourself, but help others, because that's what it's all about.
Right.
In this message
That's
of Sheetology and getting past the sheet.
Yes, helping people live and love no matter what the story was. That's beautiful stuff. And that's what my whole title is the 2-foot drop, our journey inside. Because this thing, to go inside within ourselves, it's almost like I'm describing what meditation is for the age of time. And of all time, the beginning of time is meditation. To meditate, to quiet the mind through Yahweh, breath, quiet the mind, just pay, that's one way, described of doing it. But I'm putting words into what that process is, which is the 2-foot drop down inside of ourselves, which has an end of just amazing, endless knowingness, okay? And when we could have that experience you're talking about, we could hear things. We could hear positive things, beautiful, abundant things, the truth. Because this thing could definitely be filled with not truth, about ourselves. Our self-esteem, our self-worth, and all that. And I say it's hallucinations. I say that only love is real. Everything else is a bad acid trip. That's the joke, the way I say it. But anyway, I'm into taking drugs.
There's a movie that gave us basically what you're saying in a way that's very, very close to reality, only slight metaphor involvement.
Yes.
And that movie is The Matrix. And The Matrix was the best big, everybody got to see it presentation of the two kinds of people. The people who know and the people who don't know because they're fooled by the Matrix.
Right. And that's a great way to say it because it's not blame or shame or anything about that at all. I didn't know myself. You didn't know at one time.
Right.
And it's a matter of like, yeah, we could learn. We're not victims that we don't know. But if we're willing to grow, there it is right there. As I say, I'm going to grow until I go. Okay. And that's really how I feel.
It's inherent in the system to keep us not knowing.
Mm-hmm.
It's inherent in the system to keep us reliant on the system. And if you know, then you really no longer need the system in a sense, right?
Correct.
Because now you can manifest your own reality.
Yes.
And there's I'm going to make a suggestion for a show later on that is going to be a really good example for people as well. There's so many cases of what Lance is bringing to you through Sheetology that I have experienced in my life. So I'm looking forward to lots of other shows.
There's a lot of sheet. There's a lot of sheet to talk
There's
about.
some deep
I'll tell you
sheet
what.
and there's some shallow sheet. And right now we're discussing the shallow sheet. What did
101.
You had another question besides the cancer, I think, didn't you? That you wanted to ask.
No, it will come out. I think. Let's talk about this. This is really cool. I want to talk about, when you have like an awakening on something. Okay, I was like, wow, you have an awakening, or is it a remembrance?
Yeah,
That's kind of interesting.
Former lives.
That goes into soul. I do believe we're soul. It's what I've studied, what I've experienced.
How can you not when you just said that we are a part of God? So if we are a part of God, then obviously that is an eternal object, an energy. Yeah. Everything is energy. I'm not going to go too deep in the science, but everything is energy, including the life force. And by the way, what I found very interesting, and that is never covered even in high school biology,
right,
is that 2-foot drop. That's the vagus nerve,
right,
between the gut and the brain, and that is such a major part of our existence that we're never even taught about.
It's amazing.
That's worth going in and deep diving on if you want to know. That's
what I'm doing in my new book, my second book.
Oh,
I've just finished the first chapter. And it's talking about that, and I refer to it, and what I've learned is that being the mind.
Yeah.
And so I have a great topic called Losing Our Mind when we go into school, is because that is the imaginary, the creative source that everything's from.
Right.
And so they want to teach us how to use our brain.
They're trying to sell us that the hard drive is the computer.
Correct.
This is the hard drive. The boot ROM is down here in the gut.
Yes.
The computer is right here in the middle.
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing.
But you never thought about that one before. That just came to me. I was like,
well, yeah.
There you are.
Well, shit comes out of just, conversations,
That's when data comes in, sheet comes out.
And key line here is having fun. Talking about real shit that we deal with, life, when we can laugh at it,
and laugh at ourselves. That's so important.
Number one. My next show is I won't. Well, whatever.
You can tease on it. Come on.
It's gonna be codependency. Well, there's real shit right there. I tell you what. Yeah. We don't talk about that, but I've got some personal good friend for that show to talk about real experience with some of that stuff, and it's a serious issue. And
it's an addiction, just like anything else, because the dopamine drugs is an addiction.
Yeah, yep. And so I personally, years back, I've worked through a lot of recovery in my life. I had to, I chose to, because I wanted to live and love, and I wanted freedom in my mind, and to understand things. And so, like a lot of codependency in my life had to be looked at. I was seasoned in it. I was baked, marinated, bastard in it. In my childhood, it was all about my mom and how's she feeling, and out of control alcoholism, all kinds of stuff. But anyway, I got to a place where I could joke about it, and I created some jokes about it. And I do my little open mic years ago in Tucson, and in between I do a little comedy on codependency, and.
That's a bonus in a show that you might not expect to get.
Yeah, it's like, what's the partner say to their mate in the morning? Codependent partners say to their partner in the morning. What do they say?
They say, how am I doing?
How
Because
am I
how are
gonna
you doing?
How am I gonna feel today?
Yeah, there you go.
See, we're laughing. Okay, this is from some real sheet in my own life, and so that's an example of laughing at ourselves, being real, being able to talk about shit that we all deal with, okay, and having fun with it, okay, putting it on the table, putting it out there, and talking about what we deal with as human beings, and how do we work through it, and how do we have fun in our lives, and own our shit, to be the owner of it all.
And remember that everything is transitory unless we stop.
Yeah.
Everything is transitory unless we stop. As long as we keep going, any of the sheet that we step in will eventually wear off of our feet.
Sure.
But if we stop, then it dries, cakes, hardens, and it's there for like a really long time.
Great terminology on the sheet show.
So one question might be, what's your sheet? Listener, watcher, what's your sheet? Give us a feedback in the comments below on identifying your sheet. Because first you have to identify your sheet. It's
That's
like
right.
They teach you in recovery. Like first you have to know you have a problem.
Right.
So first you have to identify the sheet. Is it cow?
Yeah.
Is it cow sheet? Is it dog
Denial.
sheet? Is it cat sheet?
Right.
And then once you figure out what kind of sheet it is,
Right.
then you can work on yourself.
Yeah.
To get rid of that sheet, right?
Yeah, correct. I put it as a term I use, and it's called uncover, discover, and recover. Because I call it that because we're just going through life in denial. And by the way, to be angry at somebody that's in denial is insanity, okay? Because if somebody's in denial, they just don't know. And all you could do is pray or have some loving around it, you know what I mean? But I say it that way because we go through life and something comes up or whatever. Finally, we have the opportunity. I love that word, by the way, as opposed to obligation. Opportunity to uncover some sheet, okay? And then we could uncover it. What do we do with it? Do we keep running with the sheet on our feet, or do we stop there
As soon
and
as
uncover?
we find a hose, we
Right.
Uncover.
Right, and then we discover. Okay, oh man,
my
that's some
feet are
sheet.
still there.
Some sheet, man. I didn't realize I had
My
that.
feet are still there.
Okay.
Wow, that's really good because once you uncover, then you rediscover that you're okay.
Right.
It's all there. Yeah, you were completely coated. You smelled like sheet. It was bad, but once you've gone through the process,
Right.
now you realize
Right.
you're okay.
Right.
And that's so important because then the fear is gone. And once that fear is gone, now that stopping is gone. And you're more able to reach your potential.
Yeah, beautiful. And then recover, that word itself. It's we're recovering our beautiful whole self, what we're doing. So discover, uncover, discover, recover. So remembrance, recover. That really, truly, I say this, my beautiful life partner, as I am only a reminder to her and to you, brother, that you are beautiful, whole, and complete. No matter what your story was or whatever you say or whatever that thing's saying, the truth is to recover that beautiful wholeness that you really are. Okay, no matter where you've gone, how deep it's been, no matter what. I've got some sheet, let me tell you, it's in my book, a lot of stuff. And then, I just came in this life to figure it out. It's almost as if I say, bring it on, screwed up parents, screwed up grandparents. But my one stipulant is I need to live in Southern California and ride skateboards and play and have music around me all the time. And that's how I actually made it through it.
Creator for music.
Yeah, music.
Frequencies that are friendly with each other.
Music.
That's all. That's what music is.
Music to me is God itself. It's always talking to us. It's always there. I mean, it got me through everything. The lyrics and the music, and it's in there. And there again is vibration. Everything's energy.
Yep.
Everything is
frequency, energy. Yep.
Yeah.
Everything, even what you think is a solid, even a rock, is actually nothing but frequency that is very close together and very small. And we perceive that as a solid, but really it's just frequency.
Yeah. I got to say, some good sheet today, Michael.
Well, there's so much more that I'm sure that you're going to be diving into soon. Um, and the great thing about the show, the way that you're showing it to me so far, is that it's kind of fluid. It can kind of change. So if your feedback to the show shows that something really needs to be talked about, then I'm sure that Lance will incorporate that into the structure of the books and the Sheetology
Absolutely.
course, because
Absolutely.
all the sheet does fold into the course somewhere.
Yes, absolutely.
And it might not be the first show.
I love
or
your
the second
feedback.
show.
And it's an honor for watching this and being a part of this transition together as we start and go forward. Thanks a lot, Michael.
Glad to be here, my friend.